Evelyn to Philip, February 26, 1943, 4:50 p.m. Precious hubby, I registered for ration book number 2 today for the family. I don't have to worry about evaporated milk because it hasn't been rationed yet. The girl at the ration board told me that the points on baby foods will be very low, thereby enabling one to secure sufficient canned goods for a baby. It was cloudy and cold today, but Adele was out nevertheless. It's beginning to snow, very lightly. Page 2. Mom made a delicious dessert last night. I got the idea from Ann P. Caramel pudding poured over pound cake. Yum, yum, was it delicious. My brother Ed has to register today. I have an idea he'll go at the same time Jack does. Tante Shuj came home Wednesday. She hasn't been well, and they had to call the doctor the next day. He says she's nervous from the various tests given at the hospital. She'll be okay in a few days. Page 3. I still haven't come through, and I'm wondering if I will next month. Gee, baby, I hope nothing's wrong. I washed windows and cleaned the downstairs thoroughly today, sweet, and everything is as neat as a pin. 7:50 p.m. Ruth borrowed my pen, hence the pencil. I'm wearing my candy-striped wool again. My hair is up in front, long in the back. I think the high heels made my legs swell the way they did. They're okay. Page 4 now. There isn't much to write about, as you can see. However, I can say what I never tire of saying. I love you, Phil. Evie. P.S. Don't forget to fill out the income tax form. Philip to Evelyn, Friday, February 26, 6:30 p.m. Dearest Chippy, nothing of any. Wait till I get a pencil. This pen of mine hasn't worked right all day. As I was saying, nothing of any moment happened today. The weather went crazy today, and I do mean crazy. When we got up at 6 a.m., it was dark, of course, but when the sun came up, it promised to be another day as spring-like and balmy as yesterday. Then, about 10 a.m., the sky suddenly darkened, the wind started to howl, and the snow came driving down so thickly that it was impossible to see the barracks across the way. This continued for a half hour exactly. Then suddenly it was spring again. The sun shone in a blue sky, the wind just simply ceased to be, and the driven snow disappeared in a twinkling. An hour later, the snow and wind and dark skies were with us as suddenly as before, and even more intensely, for exactly a half hour, when, so abruptly that it was absolutely dumbfounding, it was spring again. This has been going on all day, and I wish to hell the weather would make up its mind. Page 2, one way or the other. It's very disconcerting. I kept pretty busy in the office all day, and after supper I straightened out my clothes locker, etc., for tomorrow is inspection. Last night I went to the movies with Red Barnhart and saw Star-Spangled Rhythm, and a more entertaining musical I have never seen. Honestly, Chippy, I laughed till I cried. Red saw it the night before and liked it so much he insisted on treating me. We went early so that I could get back in time to put fresh linen on my bunk before lights out. Red was firing the boilers and left directly he had seen the picture, about 9 p.m., but I couldn't tear myself away. I just had to see it over again. I knew this meant getting back after lights out and sleeping on the mattress, but I figured it was well worth it. Imagine then how pleasantly surprised I was on groping my way to my bunk in the dark to find it all made up, complete with fresh linen, and the cover even turned back so I could climb in without any fuss or bother. Red, bless his big, generous heart, had taken the trouble, knowing that I must sleep on the bare mattress otherwise. I tell you, sweet, I felt so grateful to the big lug. I felt sorry he wasn't a girl. If he were, I certainly would have kissed him. As it was, I couldn't even thank him properly. It would embarrass him painfully if I even attempted it, I know. Incidentally, when I got back from my little bit of heaven, 5 days of it, he wanted to know why the hell I hid my shoes. I wondered why he asked, and found out later in the day when he borrowed my polish and proceeded to shine his shoes and mine. I feel guilty taking so much kindness and consideration and giving nothing. For some reason I can't fathom, he has taken a fancy to me. He doesn't bother much with anyone else, and practically plays Man Friday to my Robinson Crusoe. I don't think I was ever so grateful for a friend. You remember I told you how he risked the sergeant's ire by calling him down for talking against the Jews in my presence. On the whole, I consider myself a very fortunate guy indeed to be able to inspire such evidence of friendship in such a swell guy. The same goes for Jack N. Don't you think, as I do, honey, that I am extremely fortunate in the guys that choose me as a friend and buddy? The whole thing amazes me because I never consciously went to any trouble to cultivate friendship in anyone. It just struck me as a good idea, Ev, if you would take the trouble to write to him and sort of thank him for his kindness to your husband. You might mention that I, page 4, wrote to you about him and that I genuinely appreciate his friendship. I'll trust you to choose the right words. Don't, for heaven's sake, make it mushy. Don't either be too matter-of-fact and formal. I know it's difficult, sweet, but I know you are capable of striking a happy medium. It is important to me that he know my gratitude, and yet it's impossible for me to tell him. You understand, don't you? Will you do this for your hubby, darling? I'm waiting with bated breath for tomorrow and a letter from you, I hope. In any event, I'll be calling you in the evening. Already I'm looking forward to the delight of your sweet voice in my ear. Already my heart is surging with the message that my lips eagerly wait to whisper. I love you, baby mine. My love to our whittle cherub. Love to all. I've got plenty to go around. Never fear. Au revoir, ma chérie. Your Phil. P.S. Almost forgot to tell you I got a letter from Sid Brown. He says he wrote to you too.